Hi, Jennifer Elizabeth Masters here. I am a soul sculptor. I help you break out of the mold of past trauma, unhappiness, stuckness, so that you can live the life of your dreams, trusting yourself, your guidance, and your higher calling. And everyone has one. So thank you for joining me. As I have been talking, manifesting is something that everybody is. When you receive guidance, do you listen? And as someone told me a long time ago, it was a dear friend of mine, William Dargan, that you can't trust anything in others if you don't first trust it in you. So, in other words, if you don't trust yourself, if you don't stand up for yourself, if you don't speak your truth, if you don't commit to yourself and honoring you, respecting you, then you're not going to trust the information you receive when the universe speaks to you, when God speaks in your head, however it is. You know, I've been getting guidance for a long time. I was back in Georgia when it was back in 2001, maybe 2002, in that time frame. I had a landscape business in Georgia, and I would go out to my barn and I would load up my truck and my trailer myself, and then I'd go pick up my crew. And yes, they were Hispanic men, and we had a fabulous time digging in ditches, planting trees, you know, working in the dirt, and we created so much together. It was amazing. I learned to trust myself. I trusted them. But I would go into the barn every single day, and I would load up my equipment that I knew I needed, and inevitably something would have like a light around it, like a halo. You know, that Jesus glow, that glow that you've seen in images of Jesus and other saints, and there are many. So I would go out into the barn, and there'd be highlighted things that I normally wouldn't use, their knife or machete highlighted for me, and I'd go, I don't need that. So I wasn't trusting the guidance that internet's going a little bit wonky here, so I'm probably deal is. So the bottom line is, we've got to love ourselves. We've got hearts with compassion. We need to learn to respect ourselves, and you know, we've got to get still and quiet, because if the radio is playing all the time you're not going to hear it. There's too much. Is if you've got this, well, what am I going to wear? What am I going to make? What am I going to do? If you gotta get meditating because meditation with a mantra, and if you read my blogs on my website, Jennifer, kinds of free stuff I have out there on the internet for you all to use to read and learn. Now, I haven't always had this quiet mind. I haven't always guidance from the divine, from the ascended masters. I haven't always had speaking to me, but there was a block of time where there's too much noise. Sounds like a rock song, too much noise in my head. So when there's too much noise, we need to quiet it. We need to get still. We need to sit still and just meditate. I am love. Let it float through the background of your mind. Because if you do this every single day, it could be, I am loved, I am enough, the universe has my back. It could just be one thing. It could just be, I am loved. But a mantra gives the mind something to do so that it isn't doing all this mindless chatter and banter. You know, we are drinking consciousness with ourselves. It is just, it's permeating us. Now, just because there's consciousness out there does not mean that you have to, it's like having the satellite on and you're tuning into, we want to get quiet and still. So meditation will help you do about trusting and not Amy. She was a lovely young lady. And I said, Amy, you got to let him go. And she goes, well, but, you know, she was very insecure at the time. And over the course of, I think it was about 8 or 10 months that we worked together, she shifted completely, got herself to be strong, centered, grounded, loving herself, respecting herself. She let go of the guy. And it was just, I think within 2 weeks, some other guy showed up that it was just wonderful, Mr. Wonderful, cute, a lovely, lovely guy. He was great with her son, and they're still together. So she sent me an email. I want to just kind of read it to you because it kind of highlights the essence of listening, because she began to, you know, after a while, she began to trust herself. Good morning. I hope you're having a wonderful time visiting my daughter. I was in Colorado. I just want to share this with you because it struck me as astounding. Yesterday, I went to get gas, my usual spot, Costco. I normally take an illegal U-turn to go the direction home. For some reason, she got a gut feeling. For some reason, I decided to go the other way, to the other end of the parking lot, and use the light. So she didn't make her usual illegal turn because something told her not to. And when she did turn onto the street, she passed a cop who had pulled somebody over for doing just what she was about to do. So then she goes on to say, clearly, she goes, that would have been me. Anyway, my first thought was, it must be the mantra that you have me using, which is funny, you know, about attracting money and money wanting to stay with me. Clearly, it didn't want to leave me and go to the State Department. I have to spend $300 on. So that's when I realized the universe is working for me. And that is the truth. But if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to trust the guidance you receive. So I've got all kinds of blog articles. All you have to do is Google a word and Jennifer Elizabeth Masters, and archived articles, a block of articles will come up. On my website, if you go to my business card at the top of the page, there's a self-love quiz, a quiz to see if you have depression, and then I have some packages that you click on those links, and one of them is only $11, and it's got fabulous stuff on it. Now the next upgrade, and there's a manifesting one for 11 and one for 47, and I give you all the details. I'm not leaving anything behind here. I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be successful. And what do I get out of it? Well, you know, here's the thing. This is the way the universe works. So when we learn something, we need to share it. When we have a miracle, so like I shared my miracle of my Lexus with you, we need to share it, because when we share our experience with others, others get that information, others have that faith, others have that more trust in the universe. And so there's this ebb and flow, this give and take in the universe, and I am always supported by the universe, so I am like the marketing company for God and the universe. Think of me as God's marketing team. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so now there's a couple of other things I want to talk to you about trust. There was a time, I told you that I didn't trust myself, and this was quite a few years ago, because it was right after my divorce from Bill Gates, and my 2 boys were home all summer long with a nanny. I had to go back to work after being home for 9 years, and it was hard for all of us. It was a huge transition, and you know, we did the best we could. And of course, my oldest son Adam, ever the negotiator, kept saying to me, "Mom, you know, we haven't been able to go anywhere except on our bikes all summer long. There was a pool where we were living, but that wasn't good enough. Can't we go to Sparkles? Can't we go to, this is when they still were allowed to go to McDonald's. This is a long time ago. He's nearly 40, so this was, yeah, almost 30 years ago. I'm dating myself. But anyway, he begged me, could we please go? Could you give Zunya, this was our au pair, could you give her the car? And when he asked me, my stomach dropped. It dropped, and I had a bad feeling. And he twisted my arm, and I capitulated. I felt guilty. I felt guilty about the divorce. I felt guilty about going back to work. And don't we do this as mothers? You know, we try to take up the slack. We feel so guilty about what we've done to our children that we try to make it up in ways we can't. You know, we just can't. And so, you know, me giving in, that was my bad. I should never have done it, but I did. And the end result was I was at work and I got a call from the Marietta Fire Department. I was living in, you know, the Atlanta, Georgia area. I got the call from the Marietta Fire Department that both my children were being transported on backboards to Scottish Rite Hospital. And I didn't know if they were going to make it or not. So, the long and the short of it is, when you get that gut feeling, you've got to listen. You've got to do what your guidance tells you to do, because it could be saving you from some terrible pain. It could be saving you or your children from accidents. Trust. So learn to trust yourself. I'm Jennifer Elizabeth Masters. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. You are your best friend.